Well. UFC 319 just took place, and I'm here to give you my breakdown, takeaway from every single fight, thoughts and opinions, and results from my prediction videos. If you don't know, I do predictions on every single fight card in the UFC, and I have been for about the past year, to be honest. So, you know, I'm slowly making my way in the space. Alright, we got some bad news, okay? I did do bad on this card in terms of predictions. I think this is probably the worst I've ever done on my predictions in the year I've been doing them. Kinda not too bad. To be fair, there was a lot of underdogs that won. I got a lot of fights perfect. I got a lot more completely wrong. And the main event was an interesting experience. But you'll know when we get to there. So, starting off with... Oh, this fucking fight. I can't... Oh, my God. The debuters. Ali Idris, whatever the fuck his name is, versus Josef Morales. In fairness, debut fight. I don't watch LF. No one cares. I don't watch Bella. No one heard of you. I don't watch One True get to the UFC because no one gives a fuck about what fighting championship you're at. I watch UFC. So I didn't know any of these guys. I went with Idris because that's what Topology picked. Turns out everyone on Topology is a fucking dumbass, okay? Josef Morales looked really good. He did really, really good on the stand-up. And he kind of forced Idris to shoot takedowns. And it literally made Idris look like he's never fought, like, ever. Like, he looked like he's just a fit dude who, watches UFC and then fights and has never actually trained, never went to a gym. He did look like a bum in this fight, and he got crushed like the can. Josef Morales looked really good. You know, maybe he becomes like a Vince Morales or like a James Lawn Top or like a Christian Leroy Duncan sort of character, but at flyweight. You know, flyweight's a steep division. Like, you gotta be really skilled. Josef Morales looked like a solid skill set, but we gotta see more. He looked pretty thick for the division as well. You know, when I first saw him, I thought, damn, this is a bantamweight fight we got going on here, and then I realized it was a flyweight. So, a little interesting there. Yeah, Josef Morales just looked good in this fight. Round 1 was pretty good. Round 2, he got taken down, and then he instantly... It's almost like he knows what to do no matter where he was, you know, like on the feet, he knew how to strike properly, how to counter, how to go in relatively safely. When he got the back and he got his own takedown, I think it was his own takedown, you know, he got to the back, instantly started fighting for submissions, almost got it by the end of the round. And then in round 2, when he got put on his back, he knew instantly what to do. So I think in order for Josef Morales to lose, I'm probably gonna have to pick someone who's overall better than him at flyweight. So, kind of gonna be a tough one, but we'll see what happens. You know, moving on. Karina Silva versus Diana Barbosa. I think I went with Diana Barbosa. I don't really remember because I don't take women fight seriously, and I literally flip a coin for them. It's not a joke, by the way. You can fact check me on my prediction videos. Yeah, I mean, some people, I guess, were saying robbery. I was like chat hopping in a few live streams. You know, I was watching Ronin MMA, watching MMA Guru. Obviously, Guru was always late to the party, so he wasn't streaming this one. But, no, Karina Silva, she was doing okay, and then she kind of got caught in a bunch of submissions in round 1. I think she survived. And then I want to say round 2 and 3, she threatened her own submissions, but I don't know. Like, I wasn't really paying that much attention to say it was a robbery. I just kind of felt like both of them fucking suck. Aren't these ranked? One of these women, I think, was ranked. That is the disgrace. Anyways, moving on. Edson Barbosa versus Drakkar Klose. And I got this one wrong. I went 0-4 on the card. We'll get to the next one. But, little rough. Okay, I'm not going to lie. Not my proudest moment. Normally, I sweep the prelims. This time, I got swept on the prelims. My take on this fight, though, like, can you really blame me? Debut fight, women's fight, like, who gives a fuck, right? And then... my take on this fight was pretty much exactly how it won. We were either going to get a brain bleed Edson Barbosa or we're going to get vintage Edson Barbosa. Vintage Edson Barbosa gets top 5 lightweight now. Right now he would make top 5 lightweight, and I stand on that. Vintage Edson Barbosa is one of my favorite fighters to watch. I love watching all of his highlights. I love watching all of his fights. Sadiq Yusuf, Edson Barbosa is one of my favorite fights. Like I've watched live, I guess, as I've been watching the sport for about 3-4 years. But I think about 3 years. But yeah, this was just brain bleed Edson. He had nothing in round 1, and round 2, it was making it a little bit more competitive. Drakkar Klose also looked like he didn't know what he was doing. He would throw, and it'd be like with half intent with everything. And I know, like, some people are going to be like, oh, well, he's pacing himself. It didn't look that way. It looked like chubby, a lightweight Drakkar Klose. Like, he looked chubbier than Edson at lightweight, which was kind of surprising. But Drakkar Klose kept on throwing like he's just throwing something. Not like actually meaning with intent, trying to get a KO. There was a few moments where he saw blood in round 2, but in round 1, there was really nothing that special. So you could argue either way, but I think Drakkar Klose landed more and pushed Edson against the fence a little bit more. He was also way more active in the clinch, which was another... Like, I saw it kind of Drakkar Klose just holding Edson against the cage. But then I was just like, bro, Edson's not going to let that happen. Being taller, being thicker. Even though he's coming from a lower weight class, the guy is bigger than Drakkar Klose, and you could see that in the octagon. Yet he just got out-muscled, so I don't know. Maybe it's a Brazilian thing to just get held against the cage. But yeah, Edson got held against the cage round 1, got foot stomped. Drakkar Klose very closely won, and then round 2, there's a moment where Edson got caught, backed up towards the cage, and I shit you not, he dropped his hands and was staring at Drakkar Klose. Literally, like, without saying it, chin me, please, get me out of here. And at that moment, I was like, yep, well, it's cooked. Edson's cooked. I didn't bet on Edson. I think I recommended not betting on Edson. I did make money on this card, okay, I'm not gonna lie, even though I only went 4-8, or 4-7, I think it was. You know, I did make money on this card, okay, and we'll get into the... I think I hit a bunch of unders. I think I hit, we'll get into it. Anyways, Edson Barbosa... Yeah, he just had brain bleed, and he was just staring at Drakkar Klose. And every time, vintage Edson Barbosa is throwing combos. You know, like he's going in there, boom. You know, like jab on the top, right hook to the body, left hand over the top, through the guard. You know, that's vintage Barbosa. Brain bleed Barbosa, that's like the 50-50 that shows up. His alter ego, if you will. He's the one that, spinning back kick, nothing else. Alright, back away, hands low. You know, very Dan Hooker, very old Dan Hooker, the way he just backs up with his hands low on his bike. And, you know, oh, jab, run away, you know? Very reliant on, like, his fighter pushing him and him not getting hit, even though all he's doing is this the whole time. Like, that's how Edson fights. Like, he just does this, back and forth the whole time. And it's like, brother... Eventually, someone's gonna realize, oh, you just went left, so now you're gonna go to the right. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that hard to figure out. But Edson, yeah, he almost got chinned in round 2, got fucked up pretty bad. And towards the end of round 2, he started to look like he activated that second phase, you know? I am Edson Barbosa, Blade of UFC. You know, I've only known defeat 12 times, Edson Barbosa. And he was getting that pop in him, and he's starting to wing shots. But he's just missing. There was one spinning back kick I think he landed on the body very, very well. So, you could have given it to Edson in round 2. I think I still give it to Drakkar Klose because he literally almost finished him in the first 2 minutes. And a lot of people like to forget the first 4 minutes of a round and only lead towards the last minute. But, yeah. And then round 3, Edson just had nothing going. There was moments where he tried to get pop going, but he was just always just on the back foot, getting held against the cage, foot stomps. You know, it just was not good looks, not good optics from Edson at all. And he'd get tagged, and he'd drop his hands, and, like, just lean back. Getting tagged. Like, brother, hands up, get your guard, like, you're a Muay Thai fighter, what are you doing? Anyways, yeah, it pissed me off watching that Edson fight, but, I didn't have money on the fight, so I don't really give about that much, you know? I do care about my picks, so I am very upset. But this was a 50-50 at the end of the day. It was either going to be Edson, not brain bleed, or Edson with brain bleed. And it turns out Edson has brain bled syndrome, I guess. You know, he's got that CTE. And Drakkar Klose, Yeah, I mean, just feed him to some prospect. Give him Grant Dawson, I guess. I don't know. I don't really care. Drakkar Klose is like an okay dude, but he is shit. Like, just because he beat Edson at lightweight, and that was a filled-in Edson, I get it. Bro, Drakkar Klose did look like shit. Like, he looked like he had pop. But that was it. He was slow. His right hands, his left hands, he was very simple, very basic, very shit-looking, very telegraphed. Every time he went to the clinch, it was very obvious he was going to the clinch. Like, it was a pretty bad performance from both men. But moving on, we have Bobby Green getting canceled. Fuck, man. I mean, to be honest, at least Bobby Green's chin gets to regen a little bit of that HP, you know? Bro forgot he needs to find a med pack like he's in Halo Reach. And he had to cancel this fight so he could go back a couple levels just to find one of those med packs. And yeah, I'm kind of disappointed, but Green pulled out. He had like some cope message. I like Bobby Green. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. I really do like Bobby Green. I hope he does well in his next fight, okay? But that was just pure cope. Like, he was talking about no one understands my struggle, like, is the next time we're going to see a fucking YouTube short from Bobby Green, he's going to be, I still see your shadows in my room. You know what I mean? Like, is there Linkin Park going to be in the fucking background? Okay, well, he's playing Battlefield 6, oddly using aimbot. Just, hey, you know, hey, knowers know, okay? If you got that reference, hey, you know ball, okay? You know ball. Anyways, yeah, it's just, yeah, it's sad. Anyways, Chase Hooper versus Alexander Hernandez. I went with Chase Hooper. Like most people on the planet. Now, some people did go Hernandez, and to those people, I humbly get on my hands and knees and bow down. I was I was in the camp that, bro, Hernandez has no shot at beating Chase Hooper. That said, I did play the under 2.5. Because I thought Chase Hooper was just going to get a sub, and I couldn't play. It was DraftKings early in the week, and I couldn't fucking get like Chase Hooper by sub, so I was just like, fuck it, I'll just play the under 2.5, not think about it. Hey, it hit, baby, but yikes, man. Chase Hooper's stand-up looked like shit. Bro, I don't think there's another human in the UFC that has less testosterone than Chase Hooper. You know, I think if you tested the women fighters, I think all of them have a higher testosterone level than Chase Hooper. You know, he makes Alex Morono look like a fucking bodybuilder, okay? Yeah, that was a rough one to see, man. That was a real rough one to see. Chase Hooper, sloppy on the feet. But he was looking okay in moments. He just kept on getting tagged on the entry. And he was doing really good with the teep. And I'm literally sitting there like, Chase, keep the fucking teep going. Why are we blitzing in there with a jab, missing and getting tagged? And then towards the end of the round, he gets slumped. He almost gets, like, switched off. I will say, early stoppage, there's 2 seconds left. And Chase Hooper rolls to his back. You could have let that go for 2 more seconds. Just saying, okay? I know that ref he had is a fucking bitch. And he loves to call early stoppages. And stoppages are terrible. But yeah, that was a depressing one to see for Chase Hooper. That was like, fuck, man. Like, you knock down Borshev. You have a fucking jiu-jitsu match with Jim Miller. And then you get smoked in round 1 by Alexander Hernandez. I felt like Hernandez was a step down from his last, like, 3 fights. I thought Jordan Levitt is a bigger step up than Alexander Hernandez. But Hernandez came to fucking throw, I guess. Landed that counter shot. Slumped Chase Hooper out cold, man. That's a rough one to see. That is a rough one to see. Chase will probably never be anything at lightweight, you know? That chin fucking got cracked pretty bad. I mean, how old is he? He's like 20. Okay, he's still young. He's still young. Okay, I thought he was like 27, pushing 29. But, you know, 25, he's got chances, okay? God damn, man. Fuck, man. 10 years younger, man. Like, what are the fucking stats of that? Anyways, yeah, Chase Hooper got smoked. Rough. Anyways, moving on. Jessica Andrade versus Lupi Godinez. I went with Lupi, even though the coin did pick Jessica Andrade. I just don't want to see Jessica Andrade ever fight again. I mean, she's just a fucking... She stands there. She's Marvin Vettori for the women's strawweight division. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, she literally stands there. She gets hit 4 times and throws back once. Takedown defense is like, I guess, in moments, but for the most part, she can just get fucking ragdolled. Yeah, and she got outpaced. I mean, I think she won round 3, but round 1 and 2, I would have given to Loopy. Slight lean on round 2. Round 1, I thought was a clear Loopy round. Yeah, it was a close fight. You know, if you want to say Jessica Andrade should have got the nod, I mean, I'm sure, like, a Weasel-type breakdown could figure out, you know, oh, the damage here, oh, well, there's a marking here, well, Jessica Andrade didn't really take much here, you know. You know, if you really go band for band, point for point, you could probably make an argument for Jessica winning it, but nobody cares because no one's going to remember this, and everyone's going to remember Loopy dominated Jessica Andrade. Because that's just what fucking fight fans like to look at when they look at records. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, so this was my first win on the card. Loopy Godinez. Anyways, moving on. By the way, just want to mention, underdog, like plus 1,000, or no, it's like plus 800 underdog or some shit. Also, they wanted to fucking, he won by sub. It was like a arm triangle from bottom or some shit, whatever it's called, but triangle, I want to say, from bottom, but they showed the odds of him hitting a KO for plus 1,000. Joseph Morales? What are we doing? What the fuck? Anyways, big underdog win. Karina Silva, I think, was the favorite. I could be wrong. I might be wrong here. But underdog, Drakkar Close, pretty big underdog. Chase Hooper, Alexander Hernandez, underdog. That's 3 underdogs. Loopy Godinez, 4 underdogs out of 5 fights. Like, come on, man. McColl Olenjaychuk versus Gerald Mirshart. This was cut and dry. Gerald's got no striking defense. McColl just needed to land 1 clean shot. McColl looked a little rocky early. Like, he looked very like, I need to get this guy out of here now, you know? Like, I need to make my Fighting Nerds proud. If you don't know, McColl Olenjaychuk is a new member to the Fighting Nerds. I think he's been there for about 2 camps now. 2 fights. And he's been looking improved, you know? He's been looking okay. Decent takedown defense, but like Gerald Mearshart's takedowns were kind of shit, so it wasn't really good takedown defense. It was just like, oh, he defended a sloppy takedown, you know? Gerald Mearshart didn't defend strikes well, got cracked a few times, and then he just got fucking put out cold, you know? But I kind of like McColl not engaging on the ground. Very smart from McColl. Whenever GM3 went to his back, because that's always a dangerous thing. You never want to do that against GM3. But yeah, I mean, McColl did what he needed to do, and he smoked Gerald Mearshart. So, yeah, you got it done. Moving on, we have Susa Rakiv versus Eric Nolan. Okay, this got added like 2 days before the fight happened, or yeah, before the fight happened. I did not fucking make this prediction because I don't know who the fuck these bums are. Debut fighter, apparently the Susakov guy, Sus over here, whatever the fuck his name is. Sus ended up training with Shamaev. I think he's like gym rat brothers with them. So he got privileged. He's kind of a cocky cunt, isn't he? He's kind of like a shithead. I kind of want to see him just get fucking flatline KO'd. Anyone else? Yeah, his striking is also shit. His striking's terrible. Eric Nolan did not look like he was high-level comp. Like, Eric Nolan looked like I'd see him on a Contender's debut, you know? This did not look like, oh my god, he's gonna be something. Even though this was up a weight class at middleweight, I get that, and this sus guy is supposed to be fucking fighting at welterweight. Brother, if you're struggling with a debut 8-4 middleweight, Randy Brown's gonna school this kid. Brian Battle's gonna school this kid. Okay, and you know what? Brian Battle did miss weight. Okay, I guess I'll mention it. Okay, our king is planning the long run. All right, this is all part of the plan. Okay, he needed to drop the fight. He knew it wasn't a good time to fight. You know, he knew the water was poisoned. So he had to drop the, you know, he had the fake missing weight. You know, guys, our king will be back. Brian Battle will return. I don't know how the fuck he missed weight up a weight class. But you know what? It happens, okay? But, yeah, the sus guy looks like shit, I'll be honest. Like, he smoked a can in round 2, his body shots look aight. But, like, bro, Randy Brown would eat this kid alive. Like, am I wrong in saying that? Like, bro, any prospect at welterweight is fucking smoking sus, alright? This guy's getting actual fraud checked his next fight. If it's a name. It's possible he gets like a can. Like bro, I think Dolby would probably beat Sus. You know? And I'm gonna call him that because I'm not pronouncing his fucking name. I don't know this guy's name. By the way, he tried to aura farm after he smoked a can. And he was like, everybody in the octagon! Chant! Now! And he just starts fucking saying his name 3 times. Who the fuck do you think you are, bro? Like, just put the fries in the bag, walk off, bye-bye, alright? Trying to aura farm your first fight. Relax, brother, alright? You're not Khamzat Chimaev. Anyways, moving on to the main card. Tim Elliot versus Kaya Sakura. God damn it, man. Like, motherfucker, bro. I'm happy for Tim Elliot winning, but this was such a bad look for Kaya Sakura and Japanese fighters. Like, fuck, man. This was another one where I was just like, bro, there's nothing Tim Elliot done to, like, showcase he can beat Kaya Sakura. And I know it's now like, oh, well, Kaya Sakura got stopped by Pantoja. Yeah? That's fucking Pantoja. Okay? Amir Albazi couldn't submit Kai Kara France. Brandon Moreno, actually, maybe Moreno did. I actually can't remember how that fight went. But regardless, like, brother, Tim Elliot is like shit. And he looked like shit. He was getting smoked in round 1. Every time he was trying to aura farm with his Arthur Shelby fucking hairdo head. Bro, the moment I saw him walk in as Arthur Shelby, I was like, this peaky fucking blinder thinks he's gonna take down the Japanese, eh? Yeah, fucking muppet, you fucking, the pig fucking blinders. I thought he was about to whip off a fucking, what are those English hats called with the razor blades in the fucking seams? Just fucking, yeah, we're about to see a cutscene from the Peaky Blinders movie coming out, I think, next year. Maybe it's supposed to drop this year, I don't know, I'm a little out of the loop, but bro, am I crazy? Tim Elliott did look like he looked 1-to-1 like Arthur Shelby from Peaky Blinders. I couldn't get it out of my head. So every time he's aura farming, I'm like, oh shit, Tomei, someone get Tomei. Don't let Finn see this, you know? Like, fuck, man. No, this was a bad look for Kai. Kai kind of lost his composure as the fight went on, even though he did whoop Tim Elliott. Like, Tim Elliott was getting whooped bell to bell. Towards the end, in round 2, though, he literally, like, I don't know what the fuck was wrong with Kaya Sakura, bro. He got instantly put into a guillotine, and he looked lost. Like, he literally looked like he had no idea what the fuck to do. Like, he had no clue. He wasn't trying to hug, trying to escape, get oxygen. He wasn't trying to push. He literally had his hands resting there, and he waited for about 30 seconds and then tapped. Why? Like, are you kidding me? That, to me, is like, did you even train jiu-jitsu? I know it's gay, but, like, you gotta train it, you know? And as an MMA fighter, especially as a flyweight, bro. That's a rough one, but maybe Kai can just go back and crush some cans, you know? But, yeah, Tim Elliott did not look like a number 11 ranked flyweight. But, hey, vintage win. Makes Mighty Mouse Legacy look better. That's the takeaway from this. Mighty Mouse is still the flyweight GOAT. Lucas Tracy, you can go fuck yourself for putting him so low on that goddamn GOAT list, okay? That is absolutely a disgrace, and I will hear nothing from it, okay? That fucking casual, cookbook farming, fucking tier list farming bastard, okay? Not to start drama, Lucas Tracy, I love your YouTube channel, alright? You can go muzz wherever you want, okay? I'm not trying to start beef, but come on, bruh, alright? DJ is arguably top 3 all time, just saying. Anyways, moving on. Jeff Neal versus Jared Cannonier versus MVP. I'm gonna say it now. I picked Jared Cannonier. You can call it bias. You can call it bias, right? I love MVP style. I love it. I love his fucking bouncing out fucking what's that guy's name? He's a new bantamweight. What the fuck is his name? Vinicius Oliveira. Vinicius Oliveira is like the reincarnation of MVP style. But MVP, Skull of Numsakwe, head ass from Indiana Jones. Why the fuck are we fighting at middleweight, number 1? Number 2, I'm just gonna keep it a buck, okay? Before getting into the round breakdown, if MVP did not have MVP aura MVP accolades and MVP as his like name, okay? He loses. Any fighter in that position that did the exact same things MVP did, he loses that fight for two reasons, and I'll get into it. But if this MVP was Roman Dolidze, was Brendan Allen, was Anthony Hernandez, but maybe less now because he's getting a little bit of aura. Like Gregory Rodriguez even, you know, he loses this 3-round decision. I'm not saying like, oh, the way they fight, da-da-da. I'm saying if they had the exact same performance as MVP, the exact same, 1-to-1, you change the names or skin tone, and the MVP side loses this fight. It's just facts. Jared Cannonier, round 1, looked very lost. He looked could not find a rhythm. Wow, yeah, the numbers are pretty much exactly what I thought they'd be. Yeah, this is exactly how I thought it'd be. And for everyone saying, like, I watch a lot of breakdowns, for everyone who's saying, Jared Cannonier's not going to shoot a takedown, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? The killer gorilla, Farilla, okay, knows what to do. Alright? I was going to say, never mind. Anyways, but the killer gorilla here, okay, nickname, by the way, I'm not being racist. He's smart. Like, he knows how to tackle opponents. It's just, he's either too old to get it done, or he's not able to do it consistently for the fight duration, you know? But he's typically always got the right game plan. So I was expecting him to shoot takedowns. I was expecting him to hug in the clinch, and he did that in round 1. He did land a few punches. A lot of people are like, he didn't land a single punch. MMA guru. But he did land a punch. MVP did land pretty big. He landed a good shot. It's hard to tell in round 1 if that was an actual knockdown. I credit it as a knockdown. But, like, ooh. Bro, if Jared Cannonier was Jared Nurmagomedov, they give round 1 to Jared Cannonier, I'm just saying. And then round 2 starts up, and round 2, they get after a little bit early on, and then almost, like, Jared Cannonier starts to find the rhythm after getting, again, knocked down. It looked like a knockdown to me. A lot of people are calling it off balance. It looked like Jared Cannonier got wobbled while falling backwards. That's what it looked like to me. So I credited the knockdown. Did they credit... They didn't give him a knockdown? Ooh. Yeah, they really shouldn't have given MVP this decision. Just being honest. Round 2, Jared Cannonier held MVP against the fence for, like, I want to say 3 minutes. And MVP did nothing. He was getting kneed. He was getting stomped. I didn't get stomped. I was screaming, okay, at my monitor for Jared Cannonier to start stomping. Don't know why I didn't. But, yeah, you got a clean takedown. I thought Jared Cannonier won the second round. And then in the third round, I think everyone's going to agree here. Jared Cannonier clearly won the third round. And arguably, you could say 10-8. He did end up cutting MVP on the face. He did end up laying on top of MVP for about 4 minutes after getting a very early takedown. And he did lay elbows down and was on top the whole time. There's not a moment where MVP had the back. There's not a moment where MVP got to his feet after getting taken down in round 3. That was a clear Jared Cannonier round, arguably 10-8. So I think this should have been a draw. Or Jared Cannonier via round 2 and 3. Like, I really don't think... I love MVP, you know? And I'm happy he said he's going to go back to welterweight. I think that's what he said. But I don't think he won this fight. I think Jared Cannonier got screwed on the scorecards. And that sucks for good old Killer Gorilla. But yeah, I thought he got robbed. I'll be honest. I thought he got robbed. On the bright side, MVP took some shots from Jared Cannonier. And Jared Cannonier is arguably a heavyweight that cuts to middleweight, you know? And MVP really is a welterweight that moves up. Although, when you look at the fight, and you're, like, telling someone, oh, one of these guys competed at heavyweight, the other one competed at welterweight, I bet you any money that guy's going to say MVP's the guy who competed at heavyweight. That guy is fucking massive, alright? So at welterweight, I do think he'll still be a problem, but yeah, he kind of does just cook the middleweights, huh? Anyways, moving on. So I got that one wrong. It is what it is. Jeff Neal versus Carlos Prates. This was also in the parlay of under 2.5. I thought that was pretty free. Because Jeff Neal is still at least dangerous. I think in the losing columns, he's a little bit more, I need to get up. Well, no, he's coming off a win. Huh. I don't know, for some reason I just thought Jeff Neal would want to get after it. And in round one, he did want to get after it. He was trying to go in early on Proess. Proess got tagged a few times early on, and it was like, ooh, this might be a banger. And then Carlos Proess, I don't know what happened after the first minute. Bro, this guy just entered the flow state, like, instantly. He entered that Manel Cap, Bruno Silva fucking flow state, but without the nut shots. And he was just like, every time Jeff Neal went in, he'd get tagged. Every time Jeff Neal went out, he'd get tagged. Every time Jeff Neal thought a jab was coming and went high guard, he'd get low kicked. Like, bro, Proess was on it. Every time Jeff Neal was guarding high, Proess went to the body, you know? And then towards the end of the round, Proess started to feel momentum. You could see it happening, almost like a Demon Slayer fucking... what's the main character's name? Tanjiro fucking whipping out water style. And he sees, like, the thread... And you can just see Proess seeing that thread, and he's following it into the spinning elbow, clips Jeff Neal very badly, and puts him out fucking cold. Jeff Neal lies there on the canvas, just fucking dead, alright? Sucks to see for Jeff Neal. I don't like to see Jeff Neal get chinned, but he is a fucking idiot. He doesn't adjust well in fights. You know, that's one thing I've noticed in all of his fights. Like, his career is genuinely saved by RDA's knee blowing out in his last fight. I'm going to call it as it is. He'd be on a 4-fight losing streak if RDA's fucking knee didn't blow out. Like, it's kind of crazy to think about. Anyways. Lerone Murphy versus Aaron Pico. The co-main event. Ooh, boys. I've never been more... Okay, I definitely have been more shocked about, like, a result. But I was like, I jumped out of my chair like, oh, shit! When Lerone Murphy KO'd Aaron Pico in round 1. Not because I picked Aaron Pico. I picked Lerone Murphy. Not because I was thinking Aaron Pico's going to be the real deal. But god damn was the glaze crazy. I thought the Patchy Mix glaze was crazy. And then this happened. I thought the fucking Patrice Pitbull glaze was crazy. And then lo and behold, these Bellator fighters are fucking terrible. Only one's not is my GOAT MVP, okay? That's the only one that gets to pass. Every other one of these guys are fucking terrible. I didn't understand why people were glazing the fuck out of Aaron Pico. I didn't even see highlights. I didn't see who he was. I saw age. I saw record. And I saw that he's never been a champion before. How the fuck are we... This is, I imagine, what, like, people think Zabit fucking was, you know? Because I wasn't around during the Zabit Magomed Sharipov era. But this is what I imagine. Oh my god, Zabit, this guy's gonna be a fucking monster. He's a fucking marauder. And then he fights one ranked opponent and gets fucking smoked, you know? Like, that's what I imagine this feels like. For any Aaron Pico glazers, but... Yeah, it's crazy. Of course, all the wrestling dickheads... Chael Sonnens, Daniel Cormier's, Dominic Cruz. Actually, I don't know about Dominic Cruz, but all the wrestling heads, they were just big upping Aaron Pico, and the whole advertisement that Aaron Pico was like gonna compete for the title. Volk, your days are numbered, my friend. Really? Really? Aaron Pico? Really? Yeah, that's, oof. When trash talking goes wrong. Top 10 when trash talking goes wrong. Aaron Pico. Not only is it funny because Aaron Pico got finished in round 1 of his debut after talking about fighting for the belt next, but it's also because Lerone Murphy finished him. Lerone Murphy is literally featherweight Leon Edwards. I think everyone agrees there. I don't think that's a hot take. Lerone Murphy is not this dangerous fucking marauder, you know? But early on in the round, he got tagged pretty bad to the body, and it kind of looked like he was going down. And I was starting to think, like, Lerone is kind of, like, frail for a featherweight. He does have that Leon Edwards vibe to him, where he's kind of just frail looking. Like, you can outmuscle him. Aaron Pico shoots, like, a very boring takedown. And I say boring because it doesn't really do much. He's just hugging Lerone against the fence. Not really doing much. And then I think they separated. I don't remember exactly how, but Lerone got the separation. Aaron Pico shot a takedown, got kneed cleanly, like right on the chin. And I was like, oh shit, that was a big knee. Okay, this might be a scrap. You know, hug. We're progressing to the final minutes before disaster. And then Aaron Pico goes in for another takedown. Lerone times it perfectly, gets a spinning elbow, fucking flatlines Aaron Pico. It's absolutely smoked. He's a clown. Cut him. He's fucking terrible. Back to the Contender Series. Or not even back to the Contender Series. Go down to the Contender Series, alright? Earn your way into the UFC, you fucking bum. He looked like a bum. He got crushed like a can. It is what it is. Aaron Pico. Might have to hop on some of those Aaron Pico grands in order to do something, if you catch my drift. But yeah, Lerone Murphy won. Clear Lerone Murphy. I mean, yeah, he knocked him out. Oh, what if... Sorry, my brain's melting already. It's getting late. Moving on. Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. Okay, I did go DDP, guys. You know... And I stand by my DDP pick. Okay, we live on the sword. We die by the sword. Okay. By the way, I had like $5 on Lerone Murphy that cash. Lerone Murphy was an underdog again, by the way. How many fucking underdogs won on this card? Like, this is crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Literally half. 7. Maybe 8. 7 out of what? 11 or 12 fights? Over half the card were underdog wins. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, DDP Khamzat. Round 1, very boring. DDP landed a few punches, got taken down. Khamzat got a crucifix. Somehow couldn't find a finish and was just literally like tapping Dricus's forehead. Did that for about 3 minutes. Dricus got out via athleticism. Then nothing else really happened other than Khamzat landing tippy-tap shots. And that was a dry Khamzat. That was like the best Khamzat we could see. And then round 2, not really much happens. DDP, I think, throws a head kick. Gets taken down right after. Gets held against the cage. Kind of seat-belted the whole time. And by seat-belted, I literally mean Khamzat was just hugging him. He went full Care Bear mode and literally just hugged DDP. That was it. Hugged him, knees to the thigh. I guess he learned from Merab. Yeah. I kill everybody! With hugs, I guess. Kill him with kindness, as they say. But yeah, Khamzat was just hugging the whole time. Round ended. Round 3. Dricus landed a few punches. Khamzat, I think, landed a right hand and then shot a takedown. I think he missed. And then he shot another one and got the next takedown. And then kind of laid on Dricus. I think this one was in the middle of the octagon. I just held him there, hugged him, tappy tap. I think he tried to go for a crucifix a few times, but couldn't really get it. He got full mount a few times, didn't really do anything with it. He got the back a bunch, didn't really do anything with it. He'd go for the sub, never lock it in, just couldn't. DDP's chin is built like a Giga Chad. Round 4. Not really much else happens. DDP gets taken down. Khamzat just holds him there. Seatbelt. Sometimes would advance to the back. Yeah. And then round 5. DDP did a little bit better on the striking. He landed a flush knee as Khamzat went in. Khamzat ate it well. Khamzat got tagged a few times. And by a few times, I do mean like 4 times, 5 times. Yeah, like 4 or 5 times. And he got tagged pretty bad. But he ate it like semi-well. He just didn't react to it well, I think. And then he kind of just laid on DDP. They separated Khamzat 3 times. While Khamzat was just hugging. Probably should have done it more often, to be honest with you. Because if you don't know, separation is caused when a fighter's not trying to finish a fight. Khamzat did not try to finish this fight for 25 minutes. He hugged Dricus du Plessis, and he didn't throw a single strike that had any... Like, Dricus du Plessis' face looked better in this loss than it did against Sean Strickland twice, against Israel Adesanya, against Robert Whittaker. Like, he looked like he barely took any damage by the end of the fight. Khamzat literally... He didn't do shit other than hug him for 25 minutes. Like, if Dricus knocked him down in any of these rounds, he wins that round. 10-8 maybe in round 1, and every other round, I think 10-9, Khamzat. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much else to say. It was kind of fucking boring. It was, really like... Jesus, man. This is the new middleweight GOAT. He hugs everyone to death. Genuinely, Sean Strickland beats Khamzat. I'm saying it. I'm fucking saying it. Alright, 10 toes down. Strickland beats Khamzat, okay? Listen here, Khamzat, okay? Your days are numbered, alright? Sean Strickland's gonna beat Israel Adesanya in that rematch. Deshaun Strickland. He's coming for that belt. Cum shot, alright? No, I mean, Khamzat, like, looked good, I guess, but he didn't even look that good. Like, he literally just hugged Dricus. Out of 25 minutes of this fight, Khamzat had a hug. Just a hug. Like, just that. He had that for about 23 minutes out of 25. And that was it. That's all he did. Maybe it was more like 20 minutes because the crucifix positions where he was doing literally that. At one moment, he was doing that. The most zesty ass punches I've ever seen, okay? Makes Armin fucking Sarukian spinning back kick look less zesty, you know? It's just, it was a rough performance for Dricus du Plessis, you know? First loss in the UFC, and it goes down like that. He probably wouldn't win the rematch. But, like, I mean, Khamzat doesn't do any, like, the only way to really beat him is to be an anti-takedown, like, you just don't get taken down, I guess, you know? Like, Usman arguably beat him. Gilbert Burns arguably beat him. Like, I mean, oh well. I guess Khamzat, this is going to be like when Ankalaev gets the belt, and it's just like, okay, nobody gives a fuck about the division anymore, because it's one fight every 2 years. Nobody cares. Has Ankalaev fought this year? I don't think he has. Did he fight this year? Wasn't Pereira Ankh at the end of last year? Holy shit, man. God damn, bro. These guys just don't fight. Like, Jesus Christ. So I guess middleweight's just going to be on hold for about 2 years. Khamzat will lose his prime, probably get chinned. He's very chinnable. I do think he does probably get chinned by someone. I think Strickland genuinely does beat Khamzat. I think Strickland is a great anti-grappler. He's probably the best anti-grappler in the whole middleweight division. And I think he'd anti-grapple Khamzat, and Khamzat's striking's terrible. So, yeah, I mean, Khamzat won. I mean, it is what it is. I got my pick wrong, I guess. And here's the thing, I liked Khamzat. If Khamzat would have got a finish, I would have been all over him. But that was a pathetic performance for someone who's like, I kill everybody. Alhamdulillah, Allah Akbar. Fucking, I'm a gangster. That was just boring. Like, Merab genuinely has more entertaining performances. That was like Jose Aldo Merab level. Actually worse. So, yeah, that was a terrible performance from both people, in my opinion. But yeah, Khamzat sucks. Khamzat's going to get chinned by Sean Strickland. Dricus du Plessis, unfortunately, has to earn a rematch. And, yeah, let's hope COVID-20 doesn't hit Khamzat. Otherwise, he'll die. But yeah, it is what it is. That's been my predictions, reactions to the whole fight card. Depressing to see in the main event. We're now in the dark age of 1 fight a year champions. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Anyways, with all that being said, I want to thank you for watching it, making all the way to the end of this video. I will be doing a prediction for the next fight card, so stay tuned for next weekend. And as always, I hope you have a good day.